But here's what House Speaker Boehner said this week.
At some point, Washington has to deal with its spending problem. Now, I've watched them kick this can down the road for 22 years that I've been here. I've had enough of it. It's time to act.
Congresswoman, let's look at the numbers. Are you really saying that in a government that spends $3.5 trillion a year, that increased federal discretionary spending by 14% over the last 4 years, you can't find $85 billion to cut to avoid the sequester?
Well, we have made the cut in terms of agriculture subsidies. There are tens of billions of dollars in cuts there, and that should be balanced with eliminating subsidies for big oil. Why should we lower Pell Grants instead of eliminating the subsidies for big oil?
But why not just cut spending? $85 billion in a $3.5 trillion government.
Well, let's just back up from, with all due respect to the Speaker, that what he said is not the gospel truth. The fact is that a lot of the spending increases came during the Bush administration. 2 unpaid-for wars that we got ourselves engaged in, a prescription drug plan that added enormous amounts to our spending, and the tax cuts for the high end that did not create jobs and create revenue coming in.
But
so
the
that's
total
how we
debt
got to
has
a place.
increased $5 trillion since this president came in.
Well, part of that is from what we had to do to avoid going over the cliff of a recession, a depression. Yes, we had the Recovery Act, which saved or created 3.5 million jobs. You know, the record of job growth in the private sector has been consistent for many record number of months. So again, we have to make a judgment about how do we get growth with jobs? That's where the real revenue comes from. You don't get it by cutting down your seed corn, cutting in education, cutting back on investments in science and national institutes of health, food safety, you name it. So it isn't as much a spending problem as it is a priorities, and that's what a budget is, setting priorities.
But you talk